Yo, what is up everybody? It's Connor from Unscripted, back with another video. In today's video, we are talking about some interesting news as you see on screen about the GAs in the league, and as always, we will be doing it off the script. Before we get into the news video though, don't forget to drop a like on the video if you enjoy. Leave a comment down below in the comment section as well with your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the content. We are 2 subscribers away from 50, which is my goal for actually the end of the month, so I would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel and help me grow. That would mean a lot to me. So as you see on screen here, the CDL Intel Crone tweeted, the QBZ has been GA'd for the remainder of the NA Challenger season. EU and APAC Challengers GA'd a few weeks ago. So it's kind of been following that trend where EU GAs something first, then slowly it makes its way over to NA. And we've seen it so far. You know, it followed a similar path in the CDL itself, and now we're seeing it so far with Challengers. We'll see if this GA ultimately leads to the CDL. I'm kind of thinking it will, but we'll see how it goes there. So obviously this is another GA now. So I think 4 ARs have been banned, the AK, the M4, the QBZ, and I don't know if the FFAR was technically banned or not, or GA'd. I know I'm saying banned. GA'd, I know it wasn't used. It was being used for a little bit, and then it wasn't, but now it got nerfed, so maybe it's un-GA'd. I don't know. But anyway, it's just, there's so many GAs to keep up with. It's kind of hard, I feel like, for the casual viewer to follow, just because, you know, they hop on the game, they pull out their M4, or they will play with their AK-47. They'll think, oh, this gun's really good, you know. I wonder how good the pros are with this gun. And then they will turn on a CDL match, and they'll never see any of those guns because they don't use them. So I kind of can see how, in terms of appealing to a casual viewer, I can see how people might think GAs are a bad thing for the scene, just because a lot of what is in the game, like the game that everybody that watches, the game that they play, they don't see it being used by the pros. So I see that argument. Here we're going to go in and see some pros weigh in on this. Clayster, here's a big rant from him, so we'll go through it. Does anybody else find it common that there has now been 4 ARs GA'd by the Challenger scene, but yet only 1 damage barrel has been taken off the sub? The favoritism to a lead that 75% of sub players getting out of hand. Here it says AR players have had to learn 5 different guns. The FFAR, like I said, the AK, then the Krig, the XM4, QBZ, and I'm back to the Krig. Obviously, the stuff's different. You know, it's different to use these different guns, like he's saying. Whereas sub players have been using the 74U pretty much the entire time, so, and it's an easy gun to use. So I see what he's saying. He said, just so sick of all these trash cans blaming guns for this and that, when in reality 80% of the challengers and the pro scene blow and can't compete without some sort of meta shakeup. Learn to play noob, stop blaming the game. So Clayster obviously a little bit, you know, he's upset about this for sure. He said, I honestly can't stand this anymore. It's not even funny for the betterment, or it's not even for the betterment of the game like it used to be. All the people who actually strive for that left the GA chat. It's all just what makes my team better / compete better, which is so backwards it makes 0 sense. I feel like he might be talking about Slasher. That might be one of them, because I know he said he had left the group chat before, and Slasher is the one who seems to, like, more than anybody else, care about competitive integrity and just like how the scene used to be, and, you know, keeping everything, the GAs, following them, and trying to better the game rather than just make themselves better at the game. I think Slasher is probably someone he's talking about there. He said this whole majority vote stuff has to go. There has to be the corniest thing when 3 out of the 4 players in the league are SMG players, which I don't technically think is true. I mean, unless I'm doing math wrong in my head, 3 out of 4 would be, you know, there's a second AR usually in these teams before there's a third SMG. But unless he's talking about challengers, which then I guess they do, some of them do use 3 subs sometimes. So it's just so annoying having to change my strats or routes patterns every other week when the subs just run the same gun as beta and nobody sees an issue. So what is balance in a game with 150 millisecond time to kill? Every gun in COD is easy to shoot now, including the 74U. They slowly cater the game to casuals, and pros keep trying to make it competitive without understanding that it's already easy to play. Clayster obviously upset. He's always outspoken about this kind of thing. If he disagrees, he will for sure let you know, and he will gather a lot of tension while he's doing so. I mean, he's obviously upset. Methods weighs in here, says Clay needs to eat a Snickers. Clay shoots back, says you got the XM4G, then got benched the next day. I don't want to hear it from you, so he's just kidding. Whatever. And then Simp says, old man wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. This is kind of an interesting conversation here that Simp just has with whoever. He said he's got a point, though. Since if you say so, they already GA'd the KSP, which is I think it's a burst SMG, which hits really hard. And any other sub besides 74U has a massive drop-off. Obviously, I don't know because we aren't playing with the new patch, but I'm assuming most sub players running a Milano are losing full. So I guess the pros will use the previous current, whatever you want to call it, that meta throughout the rest of Stage 2. So they will still be using their 74Us and whatever else, and then they will play starting in Stage 3, they will use the new update. So their 74U will not be changed yet based on what Simp is saying. Their guns will act and play the same, then their meta will change after that. But he's saying, like, using the Milano, I guess he's saying he understands why people are probably getting frustrated because it's garbage. So I sort of see both sides of the argument. I feel like Clay has a point where the ARs have definitely had to deal with more changes and more stuff being moved around on them compared to the SMG players. But on the other hand, Simp is also correct that there's a lot of good ARs compared to the SMGs in this game. Like, all of those ARs that have been GA'd or are being used currently are pretty viable, and they can play pretty well in a balanced game. Other than the M4, that really wasn't balanced at all. But with the SMGs, like he's saying, there's the 74U, and then maybe the MP5. Like, the Milano's no good. The MP5, I don't really think it's that good in this game either. Is it the Bison in this game? Whatever it is, the Bullfrog, that's what it is. Has like an 80-round clip, so that's not really like a competitive SMG that you'd think of. So there's more of a variety of good weapons on the AR side compared to the SMG side, so it's easier to GA ARs because they are still viable weapons, whereas if you take the 74U out of the game, all of a sudden it's going to be really tough on SMG players. So I see both sides of the argument, and I don't really have an opinion either way. Just in general, I'm not a huge fan of GAs, but I understand some of them are done for the right reasons and to make the game more appealing to the casual viewer and expand the scene, so I am all for that. It's just sort of like Clay saying, it seems like it's not all about that anymore. It's just more about trying to do something that makes your own team better, and I don't really like that. I don't like GAs for that reason. Karma the GOAT, which is funny, Karma just was on stream the other day saying if he can get back in shape, he'd be playing again next year, which I don't know if he is or not, but here he weighs in and says, the league is full of Madonnas. I assume he means prima donnas. They have a full mental collapse. They'd have a full mental collapse in the old days. What makes any of these guns any different from the K-Bar, STG, M8 bar, etc.? So I kind of do see the point. Like, I can see everybody's point. It's kind of weird. Like, I'm just sort of sitting on the fence, and I see everybody's making good points. You know, like Karma is saying there have been overpowered guns in the past, and the scene survived just fine with them. Like Clay said in one of his tweets to someone else, someone said, would the FAMAS and Black Ops 1 be GA'd? Clay said yes, and so would the Vector from Ghost, the M8 from Black Ops 2, probably the M8 from Black Ops 3. He didn't say that, but I'm speculating. Maybe the M8 from Black Ops 3. Just, it's crazy to go back and think about how different Call of Duty would have looked and how it would have gotten to this point in such a different way if GAs were such a big thing back in the day, because like so many like Black Ops 2, for example, that's when Call of Duty, you know, really took off as a competitive scene. Just think about that game, but take out the MSMC or take out the M8. It's probably less appealing for the average person to watch. They probably will not enjoy it as much. So Karma's got a point, you know. There's no different. There's always been overpowered guns. They've always made it work, and it's just how the scene has been, you know. These are the best players in the world. You give the best players in the world the best guns in the game they're playing, and they will probably be competitive and fun to watch matches. That's kind of how I feel, you know. If a gun's so good, use it. I don't care if everybody on the map has the same gun. It makes no difference to me. If it results in close, competitive, and action-packed games, I am all for it. Like, I think in Black Ops 1, which I didn't watch back then, but I'm pretty sure it was just 8 FAMAS on the map pretty much at all times. Whatever. If that's what makes people play the most exciting way that they will play, and the most action-packed, fast-paced, whatever, however you want to describe it, I am all for that. So I see what all these guys are saying. You know, like I said, Clay makes good points. Karma makes good points. Simp made good points. They all made good points, and I'm just interested to see, you know, the next big thing to watch from this story is just if this will move over into the CDL. Like I said, I think it probably will. I think going into the next patch or into the next stage, it will be a Krig. And I'm not even sure, honestly. I think Krig and I think they might stick with the 74U or else the MP5, I guess. I don't know. I'm excited to see how it plays out. Just from a viewer's perspective, I don't like how things constantly change. So I understand from a player's perspective how it could be annoying with things constantly changing. But anyway, it's not really about my opinions. It's just this is what the news is, so I'm here to make a video on it. So that's going to wrap up this video here. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. Let me know what your thoughts are on the whole GA situation down in the comment section below as well. I'd love to hear what you have to say because I know everybody has a different opinion, so feel free to share them, have a discussion. I would join in with you. I'd love to. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are enjoying the content and looking for more news updates like this. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you had a good day, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.